Hey guys, it's George from Warrior Ranch in collaboration with Mountain Warrior. Just out here in the woods. I thought I'd give a video on the FERRO rod and what you're looking for your FERRO rods. So there's a lot of ways, different ways to start fires, but if you kind of go back to the roots, you know, flint and steel, something like that actually makes sense. And they've been using it for hundreds, thousands of years. We have the lighter nowadays, which a lot of people use, decide to do it, but we all know that that's not as fun. It's definitely not fun for party tricks, especially around a campfire when you're out there and you can light a fire with just some rock and stone. What I look for most is the durability of the FERRO rod, the thickness of the FERRO rod, and then the handle of the FERRO rod. So there's a lot of FERRO rods out there that are real little, and it's hard to get a strike and actually hold on to the actual FERRO rod. And if you are in the wild or in a survival situation, honestly, if you have to carry a little heavier weight and you have a FERRO rod that you can hold in your hand, it's easy to clean, it can get wet, can get muddy, and you can still use it. Like, that's what I think is hands down the best thing. And I'll carry a little bit more weight to be able to have something that I know is durable, sustainable, and will last. So for me, it's all about the striking. And on this one, especially, this has your regular FERRO rod on the front side, and then on the back side, it actually has the magnesium. So this allows you to strike and flake it off into your fire, whatever your tinder is, and you're able to flake it off in there to get a little bit more hot of a burn when you actually start striking your FERRO rod. So what this does is, this is actually it's like a pyrophoric material. So what this is as you strike this, it actually allows a really hot embers to fly off here into the actual fire, whatever your material is. And we'll go over materials in a little bit. But what we want to do is, you're kind of isolating the spark to your actual tinder bundle or whatever you're doing. So you can also use the back of your knife to actually strike it. So, and why I say the back of your knife is, don't use the front of your knife, because if you are in a survival situation, using the front of your knife where your actual blade is, it's hard to get that back. And in a survival situation, you definitely want the actual front side of your knife. You can use a piece of glass, you can use a piece of metal that you find, but the most important part is actually using it correctly. So what you want to do is, you want to aim it as a 45-degree angle on your actual FERRO rod. Here, I'll get a little closer, you can kind of see. So here, you want to be at a 45-degree angle. So when you go to strike it at a 45, to be able to get that good clean spark off. So like I said earlier, you can use the knife as well at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so this is a 25,000 strike FERRO rod, so it really does help in your ability to strike, and lots of strikes. I've started hundreds of fires with this FERRO rod here. I've had for years. Works great, and as you can tell, it's still going strong. So what you ultimately want to do is move as much material as you can to the end. So you keep it as a 45-degree angle, driving it forward. And what you're doing is, you're dragging as much of that pyrophoric material forward to strike onto your tinder. All right, guys, the most commonly used methods are is going to be the pump method. And what this is essentially at a 45-degree angle. All I'm doing is driving the spark at the end back and forth very fast to heat up all that material that's going to be there. Okay. The other method is called the push-pull method. So this method, what you do is, you're going to push at the same time that you're pulling to create those sparks. So here, throwing the spark onto your materials rather than pumping them. And like I said, it's kind of weather dependent, does play a little bit into that. So if you want something that's close because you have a lot of wind, use the pump method. If you got some time or you have more material, you can use the push-pull method. All right, there's different types of materials that you can use when you're in the wild. If you have materials with you, such as paper towels, or you have toilet paper, or you have lint in your pockets, or lint from a dryer, some people do that. And then there's also we have ones called the Primal Pucks is what we use. I think it's bought through Mountain Warrior, that are pre-made, already ready to go. Primal Pucks that burn like 5 to 10 minutes by themselves. So we'll light a couple of those off. Guys, I wanted to show you real quick the Primal Pucks from Mountain Warrior. You get them, they come in like a decent sized little round puck. So what I usually do is I just rip them in half, because there's no way you could use all of one. It burns great without it. It already has magnesium built into it. So the best thing to do is just kind of break it apart. We kind of expose the fibers across. So you see she's burning down there after one strike. And that thing will burn for about 5 to 10 minutes. So you've got time to go get kindling, or you can start out with a bigger type of kindling rather than just starting with the little stuff, because you've got plenty of flame going there. All right guys, along with artificial things that we were burning in here, if you want to get more natural material that'll burn, you know, since you don't have any of that, you can get some native grasses. They're just kind of around, and just find them on your way to where you're going to make a fire, or typically they're throughout a lot of the area, especially hopefully it's dry. If not, just carry it in your pocket. Usually that body heat will tie it off. Along with, if you do are in an area where there's juniper trees, juniper tree makes awesome. You just strip it right off the actual side of the bark, and it comes right off. And then you can also do a little bit of just stripping of wood, just some dried wood. You can also do like a resinous wood, any type of thin shavings that'll help burn it. All right guys, just wrapping this up. Make sure that wherever you are, to make sure you're watching out for your fire warnings or fire bans, because you don't want to be starting a fire in a place where you might not have had rain for a while. So you can always check with your local fire department, or the Forest Service always knows. The F-Rod that I'm using today, they actually are called F-Rods. These are actually from Mountain Warrior, a legit setup. As you can see, strikes tons and tons of fires that you can get going. Along with this Primal Putty that they have, these two things are bomb proof. I've swam through a lake, climbed out the other side, and started a fire as soon as I got out the other side with this stuff. Almost. There you go. Good stuff. Get some of the small stuff.
We're not editing this. This is real life. So what you see and what you get.
It can be wet, and it's literally bomb-proof. Thanks for joining me today. Look forward to many more videos with you.